Welcome to season 2 of Manifestations Made Easy by Anjushi Sarkar. I'm going to discuss something which has been a lot motivating and encouraging and inspiring in my life. I happen to tell this to everybody I meet, people who come up to me for advice regarding writing and beginning their first book, beginning a blogging career, or anything for that matter related to writing, especially because I am an author. What I want to discuss today is how to use your failures to manifest your dream career or a dream job. Now, the thing is that manifesting your dream career and a dream job might seem hard when you think that the circumstances are not in your favor, you don't have money or the means, resources to get on with the idea. So, what works in this case is that you have nothing to lose. This is the idea that I have always stood by, and this has worked for me in times when I thought that I couldn't get over a situation, which is to say that maybe I didn't have the resources to reach out to as many people as I wanted. I didn't know how to tell somebody that you should be reading my works, but somehow I always manifested subconsciously. I didn't know that I was subconsciously manifesting a way to reach out to more people, and it just happened by fluke. You may say that it could have happened because I had manifested it, but I would say that it just happened by fluke because I didn't know that I was manifesting. I just believed in my talent and that I could bring about some value, spread information, educate people about something that I felt passionate about, right now being the manifestation process, because I see results on a daily basis and it always catches me by surprise because I am probably sleeping or I am doing some other work and not giving it a thought. Surprisingly, things just emerge, the things that I have desired and situations that I wanted to. Sometimes situations that I have visualized, for example, a romantic text or an apology or an invitation to an event, etc. So they say that the miracles often happen when you are out of that comfort zone. The underlying meaning is that just when you're about to give up, you find that there is a ray of hope or an unforeseen circumstance that can make you skip several steps and help you reach ahead of the game. You'll find that there are various individuals who keep failing at the business ventures they undertake or an idea they have involved themselves in, a budding scientist working hard at an invention, etc. The perspective that you can develop when you keep on failing is that you are never going to resort to any of the means that have failed on repeat, which is to say that you are not going to go back into the same mode and not trying the same techniques to get to your desired goal. So let's say you're trying to grow your business. You aren't getting the desired turnover or the clients that you'd expected. You keep on trying and one day you decide to give up. The point is when someone gives up, and just because something hasn't worked in their favor, you just inch closer to another piece of knowledge. Let's say I had been blogging ever since I was in school. I had written about several things, several subjects, but none of them worked. I didn't stop writing or creating content. I was creating content everywhere, even if it was a paragraph or writing for someone, writing a letter to somebody I admire, and sending out these small notes to people as a congratulatory speech or something like that. I was always creating content because I continued to just watch over the content that was being accepted. I could realize what worked and what did not. I might have had failures in my initial attempts, but I am now aware that what I shouldn't attempt because I am fully aware of what works. So I know that people are going to read about manifestation because people are trying to bring about a change in their life. So I am going to write about manifestation. I know that people are interested in political economy of of an area that I come from because so many people have just bought my second book, which is now in the fourth edition running. So I know that people are wanting to know about people, other people, about hilly people, about Himalayan people. So I'll write more about Himalayan people. I am now working on the environment of the Himalayas because I know that people are wanting to concentrate on the environment, all these global warming issues and whatever they teach you in schools, they all want to know about it. Of course, if you deny the existence of certain crisis like this one, you can manifest a better environment. So if everybody manifests a better environment, we can achieve it. But since some people want to know about what the environment already is, so I will write a book on that. I am going to write about it because some people have demanded it. So imagine a person like me who was never accepted in an editorial board of a magazine, who was never accepted in this whole committee of writers and poets and scholars in college and post college. I was never a part of these groups, these intellectual groups, they say. I was never a part of them because they thought that I was dumb. I was absolutely dumb. And they thought it because I manifested that. I made them think about me in that manner. Now people are coming to me with the whole idea of writing something for them. They are coming to me with the idea that I should write a book about that because the people would love to read more on that. That is a huge success for me because I knew that if I have to bring about a change, I have to give some value to the society where I come from. I might not have had a childhood where I can boast of the things that were easily available. I had my own share of struggles. I had a really strict childhood. My parents were super strict. I attended no birthday parties. I didn't go out for camping or anywhere as such, unless it was a research trip or a project trip. Only then I was allowed, but I was never allowed to go on these prom nights or birthday parties and these gatherings. But I was always said that if you are working hard today, you are never going to face guilt or shame. You're always going to be proud of what you have done. But of course, when you are growing up, you don't know what are your strengths and you don't know what skills you're good at because you are pressured with academics and everything else. I was good in writing because it came naturally to me. I could imagine things and I was pretty good at visualization. So I wrote stories, I could make up stories. But the thing is that those stories did not provide value. People were already writing those kind of stories. Children were already writing those kind of poems. So when I wrote my first book, that was the first of its kind because nobody wrote on those things that I have written about. Nobody knew about Darjeeling as a historical city. Everybody thought it was a place of tourism, but I wrote about Darjeeling in the historical context. So I added value to whatever was already there. I wrote my second book, which was on the Sherpas. Now, the Sherpas were only known as the momo selling people in Delhi. So I went to the Tibetan colonies. I talked to these Sherpa people in the Tibetan language. I learned the language. I know the Tibetan language really well. So since I had to write the book and I had to add value to the society I had come from, imagine what would have happened if I had given up at the time when the newspapers had rejected my poetry or the short story, or even when my writing was not selected for the college magazine and they thought that I couldn't make it to the editorial board. I am now an editor for my father's books. I edit for other people's books. I write prefaces to some scholars' works. So it's been a journey. Everybody has their own journey. But it's just that when you are about to give up, that is when the magic occurs. I thought that probably people are not interested in reading the novels that I'm creating. But who said that they are not going to read something that might give them a piece of information? People always want to have a better life. This hit me. This is the reason when someone told me to write a blog, my friend Tanayama, she told me to write a blog, I went forward with the idea. There was a friend, Vishal, who told me to start a podcast. I started the podcast without even thinking that it would work or not, because I just wanted to spread value in society. One of my juniors, Shatarupa, she said that I should start a YouTube channel. I did that. I started a YouTube channel because I knew that I was going to spread. It doesn't matter how many subscribers I had. It doesn't matter how many people are watching it. It's just that I wanted to spread value. So I was writing about something that meant so much to me, the people of the region I come from. But it also matters to me that the people who have been in this journey, they are equally important. So your success is not actually your success unless you know that what you are giving back to the society is equally valuable. I have always stood by the idea that if you are able to give back to the society, you are already succeeding at it. There is nothing greater than that, to serve the people and to be there for mankind, because you're already doing it, so you'll always continue to do more of it, because people are thanking you for that. People will look up to you. People will think that you are a person of stature. You have that gravitas that can help the foundations to grow stronger. So with that idea, I had always gone forward. I have never stopped to think that if I write about something, then this might not work. But when I knew that what was working for me, that these are the kind of things that people are reading. So now that people are reading more on manifestations, I am creating content for manifestations and the manifestation process and law of attraction. Though I am not an expert on that, but whatever I know that this is also knowledge. And since I am spreading that knowledge, I am self-aware and I know what is correct and how I should go about it. And whenever I falter, I go back and do my research. I come back, I ask people, I seek help, but never ever have I backed down from the idea that spreading value is only through the way you think is spreading value. It can be in any way. So for me, success was not having a bestseller or a book that has sold 1 million copies. Success was that people are reading what I am writing. That is successful. So I'll always tell anybody who comes to me for writing tips that whenever you're failing in your first attempt, don't think that it's a failure. It's actually your stepping stone, because you are learning and unlearning. Unlearning is also a great part in your success. So when you unlearn whatever is traditional, you pave the way for better things. And this is why success will come to you.